Hi, it's Dorothy Fitzer, and welcome back to another Embodied Soul Center practice tip lesson. Today's lesson is actually a response to a question one of my students in my chakra class asked this week. We've been addressing the second chakra and the issue of pleasure. And she asked me to sort of define the difference between felt pleasure and gratitude. And a brief explanation would be, felt pleasure is actually the primary experience. Your nerves are experiencing something, let's say on the simplest level of function, like say an amoeba, it either experiences something nurturing, so it's attracted to it, or it experiences something toxic or dangerous and it's repelled. So that's the most primary experience: attraction, repulsion. And so a felt sense of pleasure is on that very basic level of something we're perceiving has this felt sense of goodness, and our body responds. And so that's what I was talking about with her, because this actually comes before emotion and thought. And so generally what happens after the felt sense is we have a primary emotion, like happiness, fear, anger, something like that. Gratitude is more of a secondary emotion. It comes once we put an interpretation and meaning to it. A very, 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 very young child does not understand gratitude, because that's a concept sort of created within a social framework. It hasn't gotten there yet. It first is experiencing this primary sensate experience, which blossoms into a primary emotional experience. And gratitude practices are very wonderful, but for many, they only go so deep if the neurology isn't healed enough so that they can actually experience the felt pleasure. And so that's what we've been focusing on this week in that class, since we're working on the second chakra, which has to do a lot with infancy up to about age 2. And so I'd like you to join me for a moment and get a sense of this. So how we might work with this would be, say I'm looking about my environment, and I'm in my lovely backyard, and I turn my head to the right, and I'm literally at this moment struck by these gorgeous, deep, radiant purple flowers on my enormous butterfly bush. And just that perception is so pleasurable that when I look at it, something happens to my body. There's something happens to my nerves. There's this, I could say relaxation, something, but in my body something feels really good. That's before I have a thought. That's before I have an emotion. The felt sense of goodness happens first. And that's really wonderful. And that's what we're meant to have. The problem lies in the fact that in our culture, we're so programmed to be hyperactivated, to achieve lots of stimulation. The web, our iPhones are everything. It's stimulation, stimulation, stimulation. It's always incoming stimulation, but not this allowing the nervous system to drop into this place. And so it's activation, activation, activation versus this dropping in. And so because of that, our nervous system becomes less resilient. And we require high levels of activation to receive some form of pleasure, versus this natural ebb and flow in the body where literally the little things in life really register and bring our body back into goodness. And so I really want to encourage you to take time outs during the day to see if you can find and then stay with what around me just suddenly makes my nerves go. Could be something really pretty. Could be something really interesting, like I'm hearing my 2 dogs rummaging around over there, so I'm wondering what they're finding in the long grass. So when I get interested, I'm not alarmed. I'm interested, and that has an impact on the body. Another thing, if you go back and do one of my mini lessons that's relaxing, like a lot of you like the collarbone circling or the thumb twiddle. So if you go back and just do one of these, I'll do the collarbone, where half the circle is the inhale, half is the exhale. And you're just doing this circular motion. I'm going through it quickly for the sake of time, but you can go back and look at the older videos. But as they're doing an inherently relaxing motion, maybe do it a few times, and rather than thinking of accomplishing the motion, do it long enough until you feel some kind of in the nerves, some kind of release, anything, and I keep saying this felt sense of goodness. I get that from Peter Levine, the founder of Somatic Experiencing. And once you get that dropping in, that feeling, pause and see what it's like to stay with the felt sense of goodness instead of going on to achieve. Okay? Give that a shot this week and let me know how it goes. Very best of wishes to you. Bye-bye.